where do you even begin? I don't even know where to start with this video. I tried to write a list here of like things to say, but I'm nine deep here, so I do apologize for the length of this video or what it could be. But my good lord, what was that game? I mean, I think I went through every single emotion possible in that 90 minutes. Firstly, the most important thing to get out of this is that Burnley is still here. Fight, bravery, desire, character, against the odds. Things that we became so accustomed to what Burnley was in the last decade under Sean Dyche. And characters that we believe was no longer part of us under Vincent Kompany. At times this season, it felt like players were down in tools. Players weren't particularly putting the fight that we really demanded. Best examples are like Arsenal at home, or the vast majority of games at home, Bournemouth being one. Today we saw the Burnley that we know that we should be. And we're still fighting. And I don't care what happens if we still go down. As long as we put a fight, as long as we have some belief in ourselves, I don't care if we lose games, as long as we put 110% and sweats on the shirt. We fight for each other. And that performance today makes me incredibly proud. Incredibly proud. What's the first thing I said here? Okay, so the red card is, of course, going to be a massive talking point for this game. Unfortunately, actually, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that it still cost us, because I genuinely believe that we could have very well went on to win that game. Chelsea was poor. They were erratic. They were unpredictable in the worst kind. That they did not know what they were doing. Only one player on that pitch, maybe two, I had any concerns of. I was worried. Was Palmer, an unbelievable player. Each time he had the ball, I was scared. I was thinking that something's going to happen here. Fantastic player. Great future ahead of him. And the only other player that I would say was also up there was particularly Gusto. I think he had some great crosses in the box, some good deliveries. Other than that, it was just erratic. It was poor. That was a really poor Chelsea team. And there's no reason that we should be surprised that they're currently 11th. And we went for it. Especially in that first half. I thought we were fantastic. Of course, there were some moments at the back that caused a few errors that made us a bit concerned. I do believe playing the likes of Vitinho and Amdouni on the left-hand side together doesn't work. Vitinho, of course, now coming back to a fullback because Taylor was he's been carrying an injury. I believe his toe has been very, very, I don't want to say it's broken, but apparently he's been having some issues with his toe for quite a bit. So that was the thought process behind playing Vitinho as a left back in today's game. But Amdouni and Vitinho just doesn't work. It's too error prone for my liking. And that's where a lot of mistakes happened in that first half. But other than that, I felt like we were very good. We were composed. Odobert, fantastic shot from a tight angle in the first half. And it felt like we got some belief. And then the red card happened. Now, personally, I remember the first yellow card for Assignon. I felt like it was really, really weak. I think it was pulling down, Palmer. It was halfway through the pitch, maybe Mudryk. Halfway through the pitch, there was a break and a little tap. I can see it being a yellow. I can see it. Maybe a bit soft, but okay, I can live with that. The second one, though, is just ridiculous. Now, I can, in this modern era of football, say, okay, I can see why it's been given as a penalty. I think it's incredibly weak. I think Mudryk's playing for it, similar to how Aston Villa, for when they got their penalty against us, was playing for it. We've seen it being given of just incredibly weak, but if you put your arm on someone, it's at risk of being given a pen. I don't agree with it. It's very soft, but I can somewhat stomach it. The second yellow card, though, I think is just baffling. It's truly baffling. Penalty, okay, I can somewhat understand. I can stomach it. But the second yellow for that, I think, is just disgraceful. I really do. And I'm someone that, when it comes to decisions, I always think of it on the other side of it. Think, okay, if this happened in our favour, what would I think? And I'll say that we got away with it right there, and I think it was really harsh if it was against us. And I think the same way now. So then that's my thoughts on that. got Pineckered and it's 1-0 half time, and despite what was a good performance, it felt like another one of those games where the officials just takes the result to get away from us, and a real shame as well. And then that second half started in the best way imaginable. I wasn't even watching at that stage. I was watching the game, but I was on my phone just texting my missus. And then long ball, I look upwards and the ball's in back of the net, and I had no idea what happened. Josh Cullen with a performance of a lifetime here, of course, got 2 assists for both goals. Well, sorry, a goal and assist. Incredible performance of the man. And I couldn't believe that really happened, really. And then the rest of the half, I don't think we had a single chance until our second goal. And the entirety of that, of course, down to 10 men, Brownhill comes on, Taylor comes on, and we're up against it. But not much really happened in terms of Chelsea's side for a long length of that time period. We defended really well, we're resolute, and it felt like a Burnley performance, really. And then the second goal was a great piece of play, I can't deny that. Palmer linking up really well, and 2-1, it's like, okay, we fought, we stopped them for a length of time, but we kind of knew that doing that for 45 minutes is not really sustainable. So 2-1 down, okay, maybe end 3-1, but hey, at least we show some fight. How did we get a second goal? Because before that, nothing happened. And then, lo and behold, a corner comes in, and Dara O'Shea is there to make it 2-2. I could not believe what I was witnessing. I truly could not believe, because prior to that, we had, nothing other than, I believe, a Foster chance in the 55th minute or so, around that kind of time period. Other than that, and by the way, that was a huge chance for Foster too as well, which I have no issue with him missing. It's just a huge chance. Great ball from Cullen. We're back in it. And then Jay Rodriguez. We should have won that game. That J-Rod chance near the end makes me want to throw up, because it's so close. And I don't blame him for missing the second. The great header off the bar, wildly off balance. I don't blame him for getting it off target. But it was so close to getting that winner. And if he won today, then my good lord, I think that may have been possibly one of my all-time favourite Burnley games. Because that would have been peak Burnley. That would have been the most incredible game I've ever seen. Muric, I think, will get a lot of plaudits. So would Cullen. But I think the entire team should. Muric, some fantastic saves in that first half and the second. Composed. My favourite part of the game was when Muric, I believe, was he injured? I think he was. I mean, he couldn't really kick it because for some reason they were just allowing Jackson to be a metre away from him the entire time. So he had to just throw it. He threw it for the entire second half, and it landed perfectly on J-Rod's head the entire time, or Foster's head the entire time. That was incredible. How did we... Question, it really makes you think. If Trafford didn't pass to Brownhill, and Brownhill was not sent off in that game against Palace, where would we be? It makes you think. Would Muric never been started? Would Cullen never be started? Because that it's baffling me how Cullen hasn't played for 5 months now, when he's been always the core fundamental part of how Company wants to play. It baffles me even more how Muric hasn't. I mean, I was calling for Muric since September, like October. When that Everton game away in the Cup happened, and when he didn't start the game after that, I thought, okay, it's done now. Trafford is our man. I think it was Wolves away that was the next game. And it's like, okay. Was it Wolves away? No, that was straight after we beat, I think, Sheffield United. Whatever game it was. I was like, okay, well, he's our man now. I just can't believe Muric hasn't been given a chance prior to this. I truly can't believe it. And it makes you think, if Brownhill was never sent off, would we have either Cullen or Muric in there? Because they look like our two best players. So that's just incredible. But we got the point. And all results pretty much all went in our favour. Sheffield United were 3-1 up, 4-1 up for, I believe, a player of theirs were offside, and then bottled it at home. Really poor from them. Nottingham Forest at home to Palace. You felt like they probably were going to win. They got the spirit behind them from the points deductions. They got a draw. Great performance. And then Luton, again, lost. But they had a good performance. But, 0 points. That was a great weekend. And we're now 4 points behind. 4 points behind. Of course, there's an appeal for Forest. We don't know what will happen there. If it may happen before or after the season's over. But, lads, Burnley are 4 points behind a drop. And from the 2 performances you've seen, maybe 3, also Adam West Ham, that was also a good performance. Do you believe? Well, football would be really boring if you didn't. And I, for one, have true belief that season does indeed start now. I'm a happy boy. And I'm going to have belief. I don't even know what the next game is. I need to double check, actually. What is our next game? Our next game, I'm a fake fan, you see. Our next game, I know it's at home. I'm pretty sure it's at home. As my internet decides to be as slow as possible. Here you go. It is Wolves. Oh, my God. We beat Wolves. Some results go in our favour. 1 point behind a drop. Do you believe? Because I believe in miracles. And I like the way that sounds. I'll see you next time, boys. Upper Clarets.